Good morning. Today is Sunday, February 20th, and the message today is I do not struggle alone in the wilderness of life. Whenever I need help, I ask. So I'm going to pull cards and talk while I set them up. It is, I want to say it's been like 6 days since I posted something. I had a plan. I stuck to my plan of pulling cards, like just a couple of cards, every day, building a message, and I was so just busy, and I kept uploading them but not like paying attention. Like posting stuff to YouTube takes a little bit, so you have to like watch it and do all these things, and so I wasn't doing that. I was just posting them and going about my day. And then I realized sometime yesterday that they were not uploaded. They were just spinning on YouTube, like trying to load but not loaded. And I just was doing too many things, so I scrapped those. I'm not gonna post them, and instead I'm gonna welcome Pisces season with a qualities of Pisces spread, and then we'll go from here. I do feel that this full moon energy that we're just coming off of was really intense for me, but in a really good way. And I also am learning to, I haven't even read what these cards represent, but they're amazing cards. So let's just see. I'm going to do some clarifiers. If needed, I'll have those ready. But yeah, so it's just been an interesting time. I'm still really focused to what I want to do here, for the channel and posting and staying on that. But I'm definitely learning to listen to myself better too. Like the more that I grow in my own spiritual practice, the more I realize that some things just can't be forced. And so when I was doing those quick, daily readings just to stay on track and then they didn't upload, I think that was, it wasn't a coincidence. It was a clear message. I need to stop doing so much and trying to do things so quickly when they take time. And so we're going to see. My semester is getting really, really busy, and I have a bunch of things I'm doing and exciting things. And so I may just start posting on weekends. It might be a little more sporadic, but I'm still I'm doing readings every day. They may just not post every day. So that is where we're at. But yesterday, the 19th, marks the first day of the astrological sign of Pisces, the fish. And so, some stuff about Pisces. Pisces is ruled by the planet Jupiter. Lilac is the primary color. Lucky day for Pisces is Friday. Best locations for success are seashores and coastal cities. Pisces rules the 12th house of the zodiac, governing the deepest, darkest secrets and desires. So the spread is based on the essential qualities of Pisces. So the fluctuation, depth, imagination, reactive, receptive, mystical, and compassion. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So why is it important to remain malleable? That is the first quality here, is their malleability. And that card is the Ace of Cups. And so, as mentioned, Pisces is really governs those deep, dark secrets. And so the reason it's important to remain flexible in this Ace of Cups is to be open to receive love, to receive compassion, to receive empathy, and also to be reciprocal. So to give it and receive it. And so for Pisces, if things are hidden, way beneath the surface or in our subconscious, we have those areas, and we want to make sure that we remain flexible to receive, or to give, because we can be really guarded. I say my moon is in Pisces, and I relate to this as I'm seeing the cards and the questions around them, very relatable. So I know it's important to remain flexible because you want to be able to give and receive those emotions, those, the love and the compassion, the empathy, really be receptive to our intuition, and to not be so deep within us that we don't that we're not open to receive it when it's being offered, and that we also, that we don't, I mean, I would say one of the, as I'm reading, this and the messages I'm getting, is sometimes we're too giving of it, of the, of that empathy and knowing what it feels like to be so not guarded, but so like those emotions being so hidden, like our deepest secrets and desires just being so hidden that it's hard to um share them. But we're, I keep saying we, as if this is my whole reading, but Pisces tend to be very giving, and I say this not, okay, so I'm an Aries sun and a Capricorn rising, so it's not as if this Pisces moon, my Pisces moon really is representative of keeping everything hidden, but Pisces, rising and sun tend to be a lot, in relation to the reading and these qualities as I'm reading about Pisces. Remain flexible to be open to receive, because you give a lot of this cup. You give a lot of your cup. And so it's important to also receive it when it's being offered. Then we go to, what do you discover moving into your deepest depths? And you have the Hermit card. And so, which is really interesting to imagine, the Hermit is about taking time for, yourself, to let yourself be guided by, the light within, the light of your guides, lighting your path and wanting to take that time. And so what you discover when you take time for yourself, say, if you're learning to meditate, if meditation is part of your practice, what you will discover is what is hidden deep within you. So I would say for Pisces, since one of your like what you govern in that 12th house are those dark secrets. I mean, the deep desires, the things that go way beneath the surface, that you need that moonlight to really highlight. Then it is really suggested that you spend time, make meditation a practice, because that's how you will get in touch with those, with your own depth, and that's important, especially in that, why you must remain flexible and being able to receive, be open to receive that cup. You want to know that about yourself. And so really having that time to meditate so that you get in alignment with what your secrets and desires are, to really work that 12th house energy. We have, how do I make the most of, your imagination? So how you make the most of your imagination with this 4 of Wands is really just all about the fairy tale. Is, the message I'm receiving here. It's, when, the 12th house being, the last, house of the zodiac chart, what is, if everything else has been exposed and there's that part that isn't. And so what, your imagination is really, again, it's all going to be about shedding light and giving light, shining light on those areas. And one of those, for you in your imagination is if, you are really in your feels and you're really giving and maybe, you're almost, I'm getting the sensation of like too humble to receive, just feeling like almost not worthy, but just wanting to give, like knowing that is like your superpower, that you can intuitively be around people and know that they're struggling or what they're, battling with, again, those struggles, those desires, those secrets they're not wanting to share, and you sort of in tune to that. And so for you, making the most of your imagination is being really okay in fantasizing the fairy tale of happily ever after, of everything just roses and bright, yellow, like really living in that solar plex energy, and not so in your head over, having, it really, the overlying message here, and we're not through all of the cards, but, it started with the Ace of Cups. And that is, the divine hand offering you endless compassion, empathy, love, intuition, just comfort. You know, the message today was, you know, you're never alone in the struggle, right? You ask for help when you need it and you'll receive it. The divine hand is there to offer to you. And so these qualities of Pisces really speak to knowing how to do that. But also the message I'm getting is for Pisces to, you know, really be in awareness of that so that it's balanced and there's some reciprocity. And so for your imagination, you know, being really like creative and I'm getting like this sort of giggly, silly sensation that that people may not see if you're more in the hermit mode of being within and knowing that when you retreat and you meditate, then you go, you know, really deep into yourself to uncover, you know, those areas that then will unveil this really fun and bright and, you know, optimistic, charismatic, you know, imagination that has no limits because it just sees, you know, it's the 1111 card, you know, again, a divine sign from spirit and source. And so as far as the qualities, I feel this is really speaking. I'm thinking of all the Pisces I know. And I think, you know, this is really aligning to those energies. And like I said, I'm a Pisces moon, so they don't necessarily align fully with me, but it's, you know, something that's, again, you know, ruled in that 12th house of deep, dark secrets and desires. So before we're gonna let's see, we're gonna go to it's this one here. So it's the Hanged Man. This is, you know, how can you become less reactive? Taking a pause, just chilling. I mean, I think that goes back to, you know, how do you move into your deepest depths? You know, how do you become less reactive? This is really about, you know, really working with that 12th house. So less reactive, take a moment, you know, remember that what lies beneath the surface is not what is exposed all the time. And so just taking a moment to process situations before reacting. You know, how do you become more receptive to good? And there's the Judgment card. And, you know, the Judgment card is all about, you know, sort of looking back. You know, it's a new awakening, right? It's about forgiveness. It's about um, anything really long term, long held issues, you know, sort of surprising consequences that you, when you look back on your life or on that particular issue, that you can have a new awakening to it. You know, there's some forgiveness there, there's some acceptance there. And, you know, this particular reading, you know, this particular question, I should say, being about, you know, how do you become more receptive to good? There's some, I'm really just getting a strong sensation here of forgiveness, of being awakened, which is, you know, again, as Pisces is represented by the moon, you know, what is in the day, in the awake state, how can you be open, you know, flexible. So it's about flexibility, and flexibility in this regard, the message is really about forgiveness, about being open, about having that reawakening, which I do believe really aligns well with that Ace of Cups, you know, that open to receive the cup that's being offered to you from the divine. And so, you know, here in the Judgment card, Archangel Gabriel really like and now, you know, sort of ushering you into this new awakening, this moment. You know, if you're coming off of like this Hermit and the Hanged Man energy, you know, be more receptive to the good. You know, look back and things that have been bothering you or have been, you know, areas that you're, you know, those areas that will get uncovered when you do the work on your 12th house, and what, you know, what those pauses and those meditative states will expose will be areas, could be areas where you have been maybe even in some of this hangman energy, sort of stagnant with them, holding on to them in some way. And so this is really about reawakening to, you know, to see those areas in a different light. And for some, it's about forgiveness. And then really that awakens and opens it opens you to receive that cup and to be open about it. So how does mysticism serve you? The High Priestess. I mean, you know, come on, like the high priestess, all about the hidden, and the hidden in our own personal magic. You know, she is abundant, she's balanced, and she's knowing. You know, she is that third eye that sees everything we don't in our awake state, or even in our, you know, dream state, even in our 12th house state, we may not be open to it. But what your mysticism, how mysticism serves you, is by tapping into that high priestess within. You know, being a, you know, really, I'm just getting this really, I mean, even the diagonal of it, right? You have the hermit, the hanged man, the high priestess this way, you know. Um, so thinking about having that light guide, you know, like really full surrender and faith to your spiritual guides, and you know, taking that time, that pause, but not to be stagnant, but to be in the know, to really get into the depths of that 12th house energy. And what gets exposed is really opening your third eye. Now, I don't endorse this. I personally don't endorse just working on the third eye if you haven't worked on all of your chakras. So if you're not rooted, if you haven't done the work in your sacral and your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, like all of the, you know, all of the other chakras that flow. So, you know, the Kundalini energy as it goes through, if we haven't done the work in each area to then get us to that third eye space, to be able to work with mysticism in that regard through our personal energy, then it can be really almost traumatic if the foundation isn't solid. So I would definitely say work on all of that. But from this qualities of Pisces, you know, one of those qualities is to have that you know, when that 12th house is, when you figure out where's your placement, what planets rule your 12th house, where are you in that space, then really working with the moon energy that governs that, regardless of what the stronger energy is for you in the 12th house. The 12th house is still ruled by, you know, that Pisces energy. And this is part of that is, you know, well, this is what we're getting in the spread, you know, like that being flexible to acknowledge that even though this is like what's really beneath the surface, a lot of that subconscious energy that we may not even be aware of, we want to be flexible enough to receive the cup, you know, receive that guidance from the divine. And then, you know, how do we, you know, really get in there to really discover those depths? Is meditation, is, you know, working on clearing your chakras and seeing how that is, so you can really, you know, that couple is being offered, but you need to be able to see it, and at least see it in the sense that you feel it, that you know it's there, that you're acknowledging that you're in that space of faith and belief. And so that hermit energy really gets us to those depths, and you make the most of this, you know, to, like, again, the imagination is bright, it's sunny, it isn't the moonlight, the dark sky. It's your imagination is, you know, this bright sunny space that isn't afraid to, and, you know, to in an awake state say you want the fairy tale, the happy ending. And again, like, look at the Ace of Cups, the Four of Wands, and then the High Priestess. You know, that 1111 right in the middle is no coincidence to the divine hand, you know, offering you the cup, and to you having this being in tune and aligned to your third eye, to what is possible that you see. And that's really, you know, speaks to Pisces, to that moon energy that's like deep subconscious, you know, those urges that spring from below, right? The moon's reflective light causes these hidden desires to surface. And so, you know, Pisces is the watery child of the moon. And so it's all about, you know, an evolution and the changing nature of any situation. And so the High Priestess is really representing how that energy can serve you through mysticism and through working with your third eye. But like I said, you know, really being in alignment. So how do you walk with compassion? And you have the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to clearly point out the obvious here, that out of 7 cards, there are 5 major arcana cards. And that's pretty cool. I mean, it is, you know, it's interesting because I'm going to have to go back and look at, I think it was the Capricorn, because that's the sign that we ushered in January. And so, or was it Aquarius? See, now I'm getting, I know there's Aquarius and Capricorn. I believe that's how that goes. So, or maybe it was Capricorn and then Aquarius. Wow. I am really messing this up right now. And it's interesting when I think of my own signs and I have no idea right now what I'm saying. But I'm going to go back into January and I know I did one of these qualities of, and it might have been actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I did qualities of Aquarius. And I'm going to want to go back just to see if there were a lot of major arcana card energies, because that makes sense to me to have such strong, really long, lasting energies that aren't fleeing, because these really are representative of that Pisces qualities, right? Those qualities of Pisces. And so how do you walk with compassion? Wheel of Fortune, really like so much acknowledgement to the ups and downs of life, and that things aren't just one way. And so you need to, have that alignment and walk in that space. You need to, forgive and look back with joy, and at all areas as having served a purpose and a lesson and a higher meaning, even when they don't feel that way. So we don't carry, we never get rid of any trauma, but we learn to thrive in spite of it. So we learn how to carry it with us, and not in a way that keeps us in this hanged man energy, but in ways that move us forward, And so this Wheel of Fortune, in regards to your compassion, Pisces qualities in that 12th house are, they're not like frivolous about compassion. See, it's even like, and look at this diagonal with the Ace of Cups and the Hanged Man and then the Wheel of Fortune. So you want to, it's like, here's the cup being offered, and there's that pause of, there's some stagnation, there's some, just procrastination, but there's a lot of just being really careful. And so even in the, walking the world with compassion, it's not that isn't almost innate to a Pisces, but it's because it's, it's all this stuff that's hidden, like really deep subconscious. Then there's a lot of awareness in that receptivity and that giving of it, right? So that relationship to compassion and walking around with it, it's always present, but it's also really fair. It's not, you're not, those Pisces qualities, that 12th house, depending on your placement and who rules that 12th house, in addition to that Pisces energy, this really for Pisces represents not just walking around being overly in any way, like too much energy in one emotion or one way of being is not the Pisces way. Like, it's more cautious, and it's really aware. When fully aligned, it's very in tune, very turned on to that balance of not being taken advantage of, and knowing, again, it's not just about accepting, receiving the cup, but also knowing when to offer it. So there's a flexibility there that exists in Pisces. And part of that is even in just walking with compassion, being, very, I just keep thinking fair about it, and aware. Sometimes it may not feel the best, when you're in this space, you need to forgive, you're going to do that, but you're also going to be really aware of, like, is this what's needed? Does this person, need compassion? Do I need compassion right now? Like, how is that, give and take, and not just being, taking advantage of when somebody might, just want your cup and need to lean in on you, knowing how to, really work that Pisces magic and balance that out. And there's a really fine-tuned ability to tap into those energies, especially with this High Priestess here, in how mysticism serves you. There is, I don't know that there's a card that's more mystical than the High Priestess in the tarot. So, and this is really such a clear representation of Pisces those qualities in Pisces. And so we can all take from these messages and apply them, to our 12th house placement, and also just the energy of this Pisces season, being, flexible with our give and take of love, and knowing that the divine is always offering us love and empathy and compassion, and our intuition is fine-tuned, and being open for that, knowing that meditation is a great practice, and to start meditation at any time is worthy. So you can really, discover those, the deepest depths of yourself, right? And really like understanding that those deepest depths of us may not be those bright shiny moments, and so our imagination really works best in that bright, really like creative, passionate energy. And if we use that, and like I said, I can't get the 1111 out, I would say maybe look into it. If that's a number you're seeing a lot, that synchronicity is important, so look that up. It's very divinely guided. But definitely letting that energy of, almost silliness, giggles, and like creativity and passion, and just all of that fun, very free, carefree energy really will guide your imagination and make the most of it in that space. Being less reactive by, taking a chill every now and then when we need to, I'm hearing like, take a nap, it's okay. Like we need it sometimes to do that. Being open to receive the good, Archangel Gabriel is here saying, we don't let go of our past, we just learn to carry it different and in a way that allows us to continue to thrive and move forward. So forgiveness is huge, and being receptive to good, and being able to know that traumatic experiences will never just leave us, but we just learn to carry it different so that it doesn't stifle us. And walking in compassion, this wheel of fortune, like sometimes you're going to be able to, and sometimes you're not, and sometimes you'll be wrong in that, and sometimes you'll be right in that, but it's okay, because you have that connection to your subconscious. It's just really enhanced by this high priestess. It's really how mysticism serves you. So I think if we take these energies and keep them in the back of our mind as we go through Pisces season, I think we'll be better off for it, and I think it'll really help guide the next month. So I will stop there. And like I said, Pisces actually started yesterday, which was the 19th, and today's the 20th. And then we will see. I'm gonna say I'll be back tomorrow, but it may be a few days. Bye.